we're back in EQM. We have two core game mechanics to show off this time. We're in for triangle rectangle again. So, the two kind of remaining mechanics in my mind that we really needed to make this a fully functioning tower defense game was, first, we needed a way to track money, and we needed currency. So we have that now. If I build a tower base, and we see I've defined it as energy based on the kind of lore and the story Chick was coming up with about the core. I thought it'd be good for us to theme the currency around that as well, you know, sort of kind of based around energy, and also the fact that obviously we have the cannon tower and the way it kind of spawns in, kind of like it's almost like energy kind of creating into the world. So energy felt more correct to me. If we can come up with a word for energy, for this particular energy, I think it'd be useful for us. And maybe even that could be what the game name ends up being as well, in my mind. Because it's such a core aspect of the lore we're kind of creating and the gameplay as well. So it would make sense if we named the game after that. Just something to think about in my head. So yes, so as you can see, I built a tower. You see our energy's down to 90. That because it cost us 10. The flame tower costs us 15. So if I build that and build another unit, you can see we're down to 15. Upgrading towers also works. As you can see, I've changed this UI slightly as well, so it shows you current energy. It now shows the tower name at the top right. Shows the damage this tower does and the description that we've inserted into the inspector. Upgrade and sell both works. You get 50. It costs 15 energy to upgrade, and you get 8 for selling. If I sell, you'll see we've got 8 back. If I build another cannon, 0 at 73. If we upgrade, that'll cost us 15. You see, you know, we're down to 53, and so this is cannon alpha. Does 10 damage. Yeah, it has a new description. Yeah. So the UI has been improved. There's been a few fixes in terms of tower instantiations and like selling towers. So with the new tower base block, it was kind of a different height to the original. So it meant when placing towers down, they started floating in the air and that kind of thing. So I had to bring them back down. And when we also sold towers, it spawned the cube halfway into the ground. So that's been fixed. And everything works really nicely. So, and you can see our tower base thing kind of works. In my mind, like when we're kind of done, we have a tower base we like. These towers will end up on top of these things, and still kind of contribute as a wall, but will become essentially at that point tower blocks that you interact with. So yes, currency's in. Everyone has their own money, and this does work on the network. It works fine. I've tested it. The only thing I haven't done is, and it's a really quick fix, is to give the player money at the end of a wave, whatever that amount is. We'll probably do a little bit of math to work that out. Anyways, so the other core function of the tower defense that we're missing is wave spawning, specifically enemy waves. So we have the ready check button from before, which works. We know it works across the network. We've tested that. If I click ready, we will find an enemy spawns at the enemy spot. So it's a really basic bit of maths where it kind of spawns the number of enemies by and it multiplies that by the wave number. So in this case we're on wave 1, so it spawns one enemy. And as you can see, the wave is complete and the ready button has reappeared. So in terms of currency, this would be where I would add a bit more money, and you'd find you have some more money to play with. And if I go to ready, we'll see we now have 2 enemies spawning in, and I can kill them. And wave 2 of 10 is complete. So it's set to 10 because if we don't set a number of waves in the menu screen, which is something I haven't really specifically said, I don't think. If we disconnect, we have a number of waves thing under the player name. If I set that to 40, for example, start the LAN host. Enter chat, and I tell the game that we're ready. You can see we now are at wave 1 of 40. So that works really well. I think pretty much everything works really well. There's a couple of bugs in terms of the UI on the client, but that should be like 5-minute fixes. It's just a case of pointing out things for clients. But otherwise, the wave spawns correctly at the right time on both the player and on the host and the client, so the enemy spawning correctly, no problem. And we have everything kind of has mashed together. I think I spend about an hour getting the currency to spawn at the right time, so giving players more money at the end of a wave, and doing a little bit of math based on how many waves have gone past, and and then multiplying that by a base number. So say the base number is we give players 100 credits every wave, right? But if we're on wave, but we want to multiply that by the wave number we're on, sort of. So if we're on wave 1, we'll give them 100 credits. But if we're on wave 2, we want to multiply that by like 10%, so we end up with 110 credits. If that makes sense, and kind of add on and add on and add on and add on, and kind of based on the wave number we're on, we'll give the player more and more credits as they go through. So as the enemies become more and more, they have more and more money to play with in terms of towers, so they can upgrade towers, and the game kind of becomes its own little power creep as it goes on. And we do have an event to check when the waves amount is completed. It doesn't do anything at the moment. I'll probably pop up a bit of UI just saying kind of game complete, and that is it in terms of new stuff. It's a lot of core mechanics things that ties the game together kind of completely, and I'm just looking at my thing and just thinking that was the last core mechanics. Those two were the last core mechanics I wanted in the game. So I literally at this point now feel like I'm polishing those mechanics to make them work in pretty much all circumstances, and like bug testing. So I need to do a lot of bug testing on a proper multiplayer, so people in 2 different locations, because I need to do sound testing, which is really hard to do on the same system because obviously you're playing the same sound twice. So yeah, it's fun and challenging, but I think the core mechanics at this point are done. And I think in terms of EQM or whatever we end up calling this, we're very much there mechanically now, in terms of game mechanics anyway. Yeah, so I think now we're kind of onto the fun stuff, which is making content. We'll see what happens next.